Hello, what's up guys and gals, Toogie here, back again with another episode of A Nation United Rock, Flag, and Eagle. And we left the last episode on a little bit of a cliffhanger at the trade deadline, as we have a massive decision to make. Now, in the last episode, of course, we made a pretty damn big move, trading Noah Hanifin to get Jack Hughes and then immediately signing Ryan McDonagh and Anders Lee. Now, Ryan McDonagh's trade value is a little bit higher than I think any of us were expecting. It is without a doubt due to the contract he currently finds himself on, and even then, the contract that we signed him to, the 5-year extension that we signed him to that kicks in after this season, is also very, very good. That said, at 30 years old, and considering that we have a much younger team, the idea that I proposed and that 99.9% of you appear to agree with is to trade Ryan McDonagh for either Johnny Gaudreau or Brock Boeser. Those are the two big names that we are debating here. Now, we're going to take a look at both of them, as we already have. The one benefit to Boeser is that he is on the Chicago Blackhawks in the Western Conference, so we wouldn't have to deal with McDonagh or whoever else we may give away as a part of this deal. However, Johnny Gaudreau appears to be the better player. Of course, we selected Jack Eichel over him with our first pick in the draft, perhaps controversially. It would be pretty ironic to end up with both of them throughout the course of this series while they're both still in their prime. Johnny Gaudreau, 64 points this season, 30 goals. He put up 79 points last year. He's already put up more goals. He's on a pretty damn good point pace, and when you look at who he's working with, if anything, it kind of makes me that much more frustrated that Jack Eichel hasn't put up better numbers, as he is more than likely centered by Wenberg. And actually, you know what? Let's take a look. Let's take a look at the lines for both Boston and Chicago. Now, I will say, a downside to Gaudreau, he's a bit more expensive in terms of trade value. But we'll take a look here. He is centered by Joe Pavelski with Rick Nash on the right, and he is putting up that much in terms of points. It's ridiculous how good Johnny Gaudreau is. And then you look at Boeser, who's on a line with Tolvanen and Barzal. My God, like, what a line that is. I'm shocked. But you look at Brock Boeser, 23 years old, and 88 overall, 14 goals, 36 assists. Now, he did put up 31 goals last year for 74 points, so he is behind that pace. This is the biggest decision to date. There have been a lot of big decisions as far as who do we go after. And I have to admit, I'm leaning towards Johnny Gaudreau. Now, like I mentioned, if I'm not mistaken, Boeser's value is technically less, and it is. Of course, Gaudreau has the full value bar. The reason why I'm leaning towards Gaudreau is simply because he has the higher value bar. He's only 3 years older, so there's not a massive age difference. I just can't help but think this is going to be our only chance to get Johnny Gaudreau. I don't see when we would possibly be able to pull off another deal for Johnny Gaudreau. And again, at 26 years old, 91 overall, I think now's the time. But here's the thing. There is no guarantee that I'm going to be able to afford or convince the Bruins to give him up. So we'll see. We do have a contingency plan in the name of Brock Boeser. That's a pretty good plan B. B stands for Brock Boeser. Boeser, or just Brock. We have a plan double B. It's Brock Boeser, whatever. Anyway, let's see if we can get the job done here. Now, we are going to give up Ryan McDonagh to do this, of course. There was also the talk of whether or not we give up Anders Lee, Alex Tuch, or Sonny Milano in this deal. I'm going to keep Anders Lee. Like, I know he's older. I know the trade value is kind of up there. We've only had him signed for this year. 41 points, though, isn't too bad. And if we put him on the second line, I still feel like he'll contribute in a pretty big way. And I mainly feel that way because I'm not sure how I feel about Alex Tuch. I'm very disappointed in his point totals this year. He put up 31 points last year. I had faith that he would do well. Actually, he put up 47 points in year one, 31 points last year. It's not a good sign. It's not a good sign, and I think now here in Season 3 is the time to move on. Of course, we could only afford to re-sign him or Milano, and Sonny Milano has had a much better season. I think Alex Tuch is more suited for a third-line role. Now's the right time to get rid of him, to make the most of that value. I am also going to add Connor Hurley, if it's worth it, which it might not be. I just wanted to get something for him. And Schmaltz, maybe, even. Where are the Bruins in terms of contracts? Now, the Bruins can afford to take the contracts, and they want both players. Of course, I'm not going to be able to re-sign Hurley, and Schmaltz simply isn't going to work out for us. So it kind of makes sense to get rid of him. He is a decent enough depth option, though. Maybe I'll keep him. Maybe I'll keep him, but maybe add Connor Hurley if we have to. So it would be McDonagh and Tuch. Now, look, I know it's going to be frustrating to some people, and I'm sorry. But yes, I'm going to try to make sure that I get as much value back as possible, because you never know what's going to go through, and I don't like the AI feeling like they've won. If you've ever received a trade offer from the AI, it's always in their favor. This is my revenge. Now, McDonagh and Tuch alone, that is not enough. And of course, in terms of our draft pick situation, it's not looking too good, although that Toronto pick is looking very good, I must say. We'll keep Wolf for the hell of it. Is there anybody else on defense? Of course, Adam Fox is going to be the replacement at the NHL level. You know, I might as well... Actually, hold on. Let me take a look at the depth here. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So Borgen would be the call-up option? Or Brickley? What's the waiver situation? All right, I could call up either. Beautiful. So yeah, I could get rid of Jordan Schmaltz. You know, I'm going to do it just to see if this helps at all. Why not? I'll also add in Connor Hurley in lieu of draft picks. So that won't go through. And the value isn't quite there. Is there anybody else worth giving up, or are we going into draft pick territory? It's probably draft pick territory. I don't want to give up Kaliev in this deal. Is there anybody here that's really worth getting rid of? We got Jones, Baracco, Farrance, Samuelson, but he's up to a 70. Wild is a 65 at 19. We're really going to need him to develop, otherwise he's kind of just a meh pick. Good old Harry Wild. I could throw him into this deal. There's also Harley. 58 overall at 18 years old. Is that enough to... Probably not, but hey, let's try it. Not close. Let me take out Schmaltz. And I will add... Do I want to add Wild to the deal? I think I do. Again, because we don't have the draft picks to work with. So, McDonagh, Tuch, Hurley, Harley, and Wild. Is that enough? Probably not. The answer is no. So let me take out Hurley, who doesn't have that much value. Again, I need to see just how expensive Goodrow is going to be. And like I said, this alone hasn't been enough. McDonagh and Tuch isn't enough. So imagine how difficult it would be to possibly get Johnny Goodrow at any other point in time. It's late. I'm sorry. I'm doing what I can to make sure there are episodes today. I'm sorry. Anyway, if we want to go with the second round pick from the Rangers and just leave that first round pick, will that go through? Any more than this, I might have to start looking at Brock Besser. Woefully insufficient, they say. Which doesn't seem possible. Right. Would this be enough to get a Brock Besser? Yes, it would. Is Johnny Goodrow worth that much more than Brock Besser, aside from what the game defines? Because the thing I'm concerned about with Goodrow is I'm not really sure how he's putting up the points. You look at his shot, the passing, the 96 offensive awareness. Just what if he bombs with this team? That's my thing. I'm a little bit concerned. All right, so we have McDonagh, we have Tuch. I'm not giving up that Toronto pick, not a chance in hell. What else do we have to potentially push this trade through? Let me look at forwards alone. Norris, Brown, Tufty. So again, they want Hurley, but there's no value there, so there's no point in having him added to this deal. Let me look at the defense. I don't want to give up Kaliev, but it might make sense. Wild will definitely be a part of this. Harley, I guess, because he has some value. I really don't want to give up Kaliev here, but I might have to. Again, what if we go second round pick and a third round pick down the road. So McDonagh, Tuck, Wild, Harley in a second. Apparently I already offered that. I don't recall. Oh, I see what happened there. I see what happened. Oh, if the second didn't go through, the third's definitely not going to go through. All right, so our current dilemma. How bad are the Maple Leafs? Toronto's actually not that bad. Are they going to end up with a decent pick? Probably. But they're not complete garbage. Yeah, I was expecting New York Rangers level with how much value that draft pick has. They're going to be a lottery team, more than likely, but they do still have time to turn it around. Which means that first round pick is a little bit more expendable than I would have thought. I'll try to get something back in return, but I'm thinking we give up the Toronto first, even though they don't want it. And we'll look to recoup a little bit of value here if we can. How close is that to being a done deal? Not close. What about a second and a third? Not close. Just the second? Oh my god. Alright. I don't think anyone would be opposed to me taking off hard trade difficulty at this point. Will that go through? No. Will this go through? They do not want to give up Johnny Gaudreau. Period. Period. End of story and discussion. What if I take out Harley and we add the Rangers second? What about now? We can't get we can't get Johnny Gaudreau. It's just not happening. I keep calling him Gohnny. He might as well be Gohnny. Wave goodbye, because he's never going to be on this team. So all you're going to be able to do is just wave to him from the other side of the river. You'll never get to talk to him, though, because he's not coming over here. We are not getting Johnny Gaudreau. Oh, boy. Besser, you're a hell of a silver medal, though. I mean, if that's not enough, what's going to be? You know? It's not going to happen. They don't want to move him. The alternative, of course, is putting on easy trade difficulty and offering basically the same thing. Or we just go for Brock Besser on Chicago. That is the alternative. So it's Besser. Or it's lowering the trade difficulty to get Gaudreau. And I'd still pretty much give up the same thing. Oh, man. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just a little bit concerned about his numbers this year. But you look at what he did in the first 2 years. He's having a down year. 39 goals, 31 goals the year before. And if we look at Gaudreau again, 30 goals this year. I mean, really, this is a career high in goals. He's going to have a career high in goals this year. So he broke 30 for the first time this year. Besser broke 30 the other 2 seasons aside from this one. I think we go with Plan B. I think we go with Plan B. So McDonagh and Tuck. What if I add a little bit to this? What's their reaction? I do wonder. Because the value looks to be in their favor, but of course they don't want to trade him. It's rejected. Take out the third. Take that out. Okay. Hey, it's worth a shot. You never know. I mean, I pretty much do know, but hey, I might get lucky one of these times. There it is. And that's why we do what we do. I'm going to add the Chicago second back in. I'm going to add Schmaltz and Hurley to this deal just to sweeten the pot a little bit, if I can. Damn it, they'd have too many skaters. Now they wouldn't. McDonagh, Tuck, and Hurley for Brock Besser in a second. Will not go through. What about if I add on the 4th round pick next year? What about now? Alright, we'll settle for the 3rd and maybe a 6th if that will work. But compared to what it's going to cost to get Gaudreau, I think we have our solution right here. Will that go through? No, it won't. Again, I am going to get as much back from this as I possibly can. I do not care. 3rd, 5th, and a 7th. 3rd and a 5th. Take out the 5th. Add on the 7th. I need to be the one that wins this trade, damn it. McDonagh, Tuck, and Hurley for Brock Besser, a third and just a third. Not a third anymore. What? Did that not go? Oh, was it next year's third? Is that what did it? Nope, they did. Wait, what? That is so fucking weird. I add Hurley to the deal and it makes it worse. Okay. Ryan McDonagh and Alex Tuck for Brock Besser and a third-round pick next year. The deal is done. Goodrow, I would have loved to have had you on this team. Boston wasn't budging. Instead, Eichel and Besser are the 1-2 punch that can hopefully lead this team to the promised land. We will call up Fox, and he will get that extra bit of ice time. So, we go best lines. It is again Lee, Eichel, and Besser. It's now Milano, Galchenyuk, and Donato, which I'm all right with Donato being on the right. I don't know if you would have heard Emmy sneezing in the background, but it was adorable. Tufty, Brown, Jones, Bellows, Mishmash, and Gaudette. Again, I'm a little bit worried about Bellows being a third-line guy right now, but we'll see what happens. And on defense, Trouba, McAvoy, Belpedio, Butcher, Chris, and Fox. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. Hellebuck and hockey, we are good to go. Brock Besser, Jack Eichel, hopefully leading the way for this team. Obviously, we need to complete that line. Whether or not we'll be able to do so, I mean, and by complete, it's not to say that Anders Lee is a pushover. But obviously, in terms of, long term, I mean, 23-year-olds, Anders Lee, how long is he going to be around? Maybe Sonny Milano's that guy. Maybe Jack Hughes is that guy. So in the AHL, we need to fill that spot. We actually don't have anybody signed. Do I have a forward that I can plug in there really quickly? Just so that I can, let's put in Thorell. And I am going to need, just because I don't want the game signing any AI players for me, I am going to need to sign another defenseman. And I don't know who that would be, considering Nate Ginnon has been has been retired for the past season now. I am just gonna guess at random, and who gives a shit, because it's not like I'm gonna do anything with that player. So, who is an aging American defenseman? I don't know. Who is an aging American defenseman? What's like the most American name that I can think of? Alex Edler. Kidding. I mean, if Barry Goers isn't the type of guy that we're looking for, I legitimately don't know who would work here. Is Brian Straight American? Probably not. I really don't want to have to open up the laptop, damn it. Or grab the phone. I don't know. Damn. Newton. Bartkowski. Kampfer's American, I think. And if I'm wrong, deal with it. We're signing him. Now, the one thing I have to do before we continue on with the sim, or I don't have to do it, but the one thing that I want to do is sort out these Sonny Milano contract talks, and then we will sim, hopefully, to the playoffs. Hopefully. So again, he actually wants an extension, which is good. Did that change? I didn't think he wanted an extension before. So I could go 1 year just to keep him for cheap, or I could just give him a half-decent deal now, and if how he's performed this season is anything to go off of, that should be worth it. 3.85 for the next 3 years for Sonny Milano. That is not too shabby at all. Let's hope that he accepts that, as I need to drag this sweatshirt off because, my God, it's hot in here. But that's okay. So we will move on. Besser is now our leading point scorer, which kind of shows how some people were underperforming. And we'll see whether or not that hype that comes with having Besser and Eichel on the same team. We'll see if that works. Sonny Milano has accepted our contract extension. Steven Kampfer has signed. I don't give a damn what his nationality is because he's going to play in the AHL. It doesn't care. It doesn't matter, and I don't care, and it doesn't care. Kampfer doesn't care because he has a job now. Was I right, though? You're Canadian, aren't you? Hey! Check out the big brain on Brad, right? Look at that. I actually got something right. So, AHL. Defense. Take out Eric Thorell. Bring in Kampfer. Bump up Quentin Hughes. Bump up Daniel Brickley. Have Kampfer and Schmaltz. Brickley, Ferentz. Actually have Ferentz on the left. Borgen and Hughes. Not bad. So Quinton and Jack Hughes are both 76s right now. Pretty promising. Let's see, the power play is Besser, Eichel, Lee, Milano, Galchenyuk, Donato. Perfect way to go. Don't see anything wrong with that. As the doggo is on the move-o, which means it's time for me to jump Cutto. Okay-o? Yeah. All right, we're good. Let's do this. It's March 1st. The race to the playoffs continues, at least begins for this episode. Of course, we are currently in a tie for third place in the Metro. The question is, will the offensive addition in Brock Besser be enough to make up for what we just lost, at least for this season, defensively with Ryan McDonagh? Can Adam Fox step in and get the job done? And so far, post-deadline, we scored, 11 goals in the first 2 games? It's a 6-1 win over Anaheim after dropping a game to Vancouver. We are kind of going win-loss, but we're getting a couple of extra wins here and there, which is pretty promising. It's not looking like we're going to have to deal with the March collapse. I'm just going to go ahead and sim to April 1st. Scout the goalies there for another 3 weeks. So we lose to Anaheim. We have 5 games left in this month. 2 against Pittsburgh, a home-and-home series. It's a 4-0 win and a 1-0 win, so back-to-back shutouts. 3 straight shutouts. My God. And 4 shutouts in our past 5 games. Incredible. We're up to 44 wins, 44, 32, and 3 on the season. The Cleveland Monsters might have an outside chance at making the postseason. We have 3 games left this year. Where do we stand in terms of a playoff spot? We have not yet clinched, but we are 2 points clear of Carolina, although they have a game at hand. For the moment, we are in, and not to mention, Carolina are in a wild card spot. So this could still go very poorly, but it's promising. We might just be able to pull this off. Let's sim the next 2 games. Winnipeg has 34 wins on the year. We should be able to beat them. I want to take a look at the standings again, though, just to see. Carolina still has that game at hand. New Jersey's a little bit behind in the Atlantic. The Atlantic is still in the wild card spot. 91 points for both Boston and Ottawa. There's a very good chance that it's only going to be the top 3 teams in the Metro. This is a dogfight right now by the top 4 teams in each division. We need a win here against the Jets, and we don't get it. We get shut out 3-0. That sets us up with another game that we should win against the Rangers and a fairly difficult game against the Leafs, who are also battling for their postseason lives. Let's take a look. We have the tiebreaker on Carolina, which is gigantic. However, both Boston and now Buffalo, who are in the race, actually Toronto's fighting for their playoff lives. They're not going to make it. It was Ottawa that I was thinking of. Wow. We need to win. We need to win or we are going to miss. Now, Carolina has one of the postseason spots, but Ottawa's right there. There's a good chance we're going to make it, but we need a win to guarantee it. If we lose both of these games or only pick up 1 point out of 2, we're in trouble. We need to beat the New York Rangers, and we did with a 2-0 shutout victory. That should be enough to at least clinch the wild card spot. Let's take a look. Are we going to the playoffs? Yes, we are. It's just down now to seeding. If we get the win over Toronto, we'll be taking on either Washington. Actually, Washington has already clinched the division title. So if we win this game, we take on the Philadelphia Flyers. If we lose, to be honest, I'm not sure. We'd be on 93 points. So right now we're we would actually be the last wildcard team. If Carolina jumps us, we would be the 8th seed taking on the Detroit Red Wings, the conference-winning 107.49 win, potentially 50 win Detroit Red Wings. Let's take a look. This might as well be a playoff game. Let's get into playoff mode. Let's sim this and see what happens against Mark Scheifele and the Maple Leafs. First period, Anthony Mantha gets the opening goal. second period. All right, Detroit in the first round is what you're telling me as we get shit on 6-1 in Toronto in the last game of the season. They get to end their season on a positive note. We get to head into the playoffs, losing 2 out of our last 3 and throwing away a chance at a better matchup. We will indeed be taking on Detroit in the first round. So it took us a little bit of time, but we have made the playoffs. Unfortunately, I'm not sure how well it's going to go for us. That is incredibly disappointing. We'll take a look here at the final point totals. 24 goals, 31 assists for Anders Lee. He didn't quite get to the point mark he had 2 years ago, which is what I was hoping for. Jack Eichel, very disappointing season. Only 62 points. That is the highest point total he has put up since we started this run in the 17-18 season, but that's still incredibly disappointing, I got to admit. And then Brock Besser, 18 goals, 42 assists. One of them has to step up. Bottom line, Eichel's the better playmaker. Besser has the better shot. One of them has to step up. There has to be a way to get that line going, and maybe if they have a full season together, they can pull it off. Sonny Milano, 18 goals, 29 assists. He was a plus 26, not bad. A new career high for him. So that's very promising, especially with us just handing him that new contract. Galchenyuk, 18 goals, 31 assists, 1 point fewer than his point total he had last year. So that's a little bit disappointing. The plus minus was better, though. Wait, I'm right on that, aren't I? Yes, I am. Okay, that was weird. I thought I made a mistake there. Ryan Donato, 24 goals, 21 assists. Not a new career high, unfortunately. 3 points shy of what he had in his rookie season, but still good for 24 goals a year, which is very promising. On the third line, Riley Tufte, 18 goals, 17 assists, so just out of nowhere being a goal scorer. Logan Brown, 19 points. So again, third line, I like to see 30 points. Disappointed in Tufte's total, not by much. The goals are nice, but, there could have been more. Logan Brown, I'm kind of disappointed in, and I'm disappointed in Max Jones, I got to admit. On the fourth line, I prefer about 20 points. Kiefer Bellows was close, but not quite there. Mishmash hit the mark, and Adam Gaudette was a little bit worse than I would have wanted. So it's bottom 6 secondary scoring that I am quite concerned about. We're not putting up as many goals as we're capable of. On defense, Trouba did very well. 7 goals, 39 assists. Charlie McAvoy with 40 points. I'll take it. Second pairing, Will Butcher, not too bad, 22 points. Louis Belpedio, I feel like the offense started to kick up once McDonagh was traded. Chad Chris did all right, and Adam Fox didn't do much once he joined the team, but that is okay. The goaltending, Connor Hellebuyck, no doubt, is a big reason as to why we're here. A .926 save percentage, 36 wins, a 2.22 goals against average with 12 shutouts. Hayden Hockey was a tremendous backup. 9 wins and 18 appearances, a .941 save percentage, a .165 GAA with 2 shutouts. So the goaltending, no doubt, played a big part into why we're here. If not the goaltending being the biggest factor as to why we are here. Down in the AHL, Ryan Poehling, 50-point season, very nice. Kyler Yamamoto with a 49-point season, very nice. And Jeremy Bracco, 15 goals, 33 assists. I will take it. That's pretty good from our top line. Not as good as I was hoping for, but pretty good. Josh Norris, 30-point season. Connor Hurley with a 30-point season. And Jimmy Hayes actually did all right. It's kind of a joke signing. The rest I don't really care about. Quentin Hughes, 18 goals, 17 assists as a defenseman. That's insane. Borgen with 11 points, the 10 points for Ferentz, 19 for Brickley. So the point production from our defensemen across the board was pretty disappointing. Jake Ottinger with a .924 save percentage and 8 shutouts. Casey DeSmith did all right as his backup. So there you go. There are our numbers. We'll take a look league-wide. We'll take a look at the league-wide at the standings, at the points, and then we are in fact getting in to our round 1 matchup against Detroit in this episode as promised. I said it would be the draft or our first round matchup, and that is still the case. So the Red Wings, the President's Trophy winning Red Wings will be our opponent, which is incredibly upsetting. What are the odds that the team with the least amount of goals for per game made the playoffs and won a division, by the way? But case in point, we were in the bottom 10 for goals for per game, which is very disappointing. Goals against per game, the third lowest total in the league. Tied, or actually, I mean, they were tied for first, but yeah, still the third lowest total in the league. Our power play at 16%, one of the worst in the league. We'll have to address that. Our penalty kill at 81% was mid-table. You see us there at the bottom, so our special teams were not great either. We're on a 5-5 run as we enter the postseason. So we'll take a look at special teams and what we have to change up. Let's look around the entire league here. Brad Marchand led the league in points, beating Voracek by 1. Johnny Gaudreau with 80 points, finished the season with 37 goals. You had Borgstrom up there as well. William Karlsson with 77 points. Tarasenko with a modest 42 goals, leading the league. You also had Ben and Sagan breaking the 40 goal mark. Kovalchuk hit 39. And then Giroux and Gaudreau were tied for 5th. We'll take a look again. The point total king was Marchand. The best plus-minus in the league went to Detroit's Jake Muzzin. The worst, Andrew Cogliano. The penalty minute king, because why not, was Milan Lucic. What a goon. The power play king was Tyler frickin' Sagan. There you go. Who was the shorthanded king? JT Miller. Who was the game-winning goal king? Schwartz, Crosby, and Borgstrom. Who took the most shots? Tolvanen. He took one more shot than Kovalchuk. Who played the most? It was John Klingberg. Who won the most face-offs? Leon Draisaitl. Who hit the most people? Braden Shen. Lock him up. Who had the most blocks? Zdeno Chara. 43 years old. Doesn't have brittle bones yet, but boy, is he going to have a rough 50 and up. The most giveaways went to Tucker Pullman. The most takeaways, Brad Marchand. And the most fights, drumroll please, Ryan Callahan with 5. So no Jake Dotchin in the league is what we learned here. And in the AHL, in terms of points, Curtis McDermott actually led the AHL in fights, which is amazing. Rem Pitlick, who is available to us, put up the most points. The goal-scoring king, Rem Pitlick. So there you go. Shane Bowers also up there. So there you go. Except for rookie scoring, which I forgot works again. So let me check that. Hold on. Let me check that out. Let's go to the entire league and see who's going to win the Calder. Yep, that's close. That's a real close race, all right. I think we know who's winning the Calder. Way to go, Logan Shaw, apparently a 27-year-old rookie, even though he has NHL experience, doesn't he? 55 games and 53. How was he a rookie? All right, well, there you go. Zadina had the second highest point total. And somehow Beauvillier was a rookie too, which is just weird. Svechnikov, though, 61 points, is going to be your Calder winner. In his, well, I guess he must not have played last year, but he certainly played this year. Let's get our confirmation, shall we? That we, son of a bitch... I hate the menu system sometimes. Advanced day. Confirmation that we are playing Detroit, please. Waiting. There it is. Playing Detroit. What I want to do is, of course, take a look at our power play setup. I'm also wondering... I'm so tempted to put Donato on that top line, I gotta admit. I'm very tempted. I'm going with my gut on this one. Donato, Eichel, Besser, Milano, Galchenyuk, Lee, Tufte, Brown. Hold on. I thought Bellows. I was hoping Bellows or Tufte would be able to play center. Mishmash, though, had a good year, too. Basically, I'm trying to think of who should be on that line. I'm going Mishmash, Tufte, Gaudette, Jones, Brown, and Bellows. Going with my gut on these lineups here. And to be honest, we're going to spread the wealth a little bit here. we're going to go with... We're going to go with... Let's go with Chris, McAvoy, Fox, Trouba, Butcher, Belpedio. So Butcher, Trouba, and McAvoy are all like the captain of their particular pairing. Try to spread the wealth a little bit, just to see how it works out. And on special teams, we have, again, we're going to put Donato. I'm going to put Donato, Eichel, Besser, McAvoy. Actually, I want Trouba on that side in case there are one-timers. Then we have Milano, Galchenyuk, Lee with Butcher and Belpedio, which I'm all right with. The penalty kill is Gaudette, Milano, Mishmash, and Tufte. And Mishmash and Tufte cannot play defense, so that would explain it. Let me take a look at the defensive ratings amongst this team. We have Donato, who somehow has a really good defense. Donato, Lee, Eichel, Besser, and Bellows. So Donato, Lee, Eichel, Besser, Bellows. All right. So let's go with Eichel and Besser, Donato, and Lee. And that way Bellows in the fourth, the fourth line, third and fourth line could be run after the power play. I need Anders Lee here. Left wing. There we go. So it's Trouba, McAvoy, Chris, and Fox. Sure who I want on defense. Or yeah, Chris and Fox have got to be with them. And that way, after a penalty kill, we roll out Butcher and Belpedio. So let's again, let's split that up and go with Trouba, Chris, McAvoy, Fox. And then three-man penalty kill, it's almost like who gives a shit, but we'll have Eichel and Donato as centers. And we'll see how that works. Same thing, set it up that way. Special teams are good. We've made some changes to the lineups. What I feel gives us the best chance to win. If you disagree and I end up being wrong, then hey, I know you'll tell me that I was wrong and that I told you so. You should have listened to my comment that I posted 12 plus hours after you posted this video up on the internet, because that makes sense in the timeline. And you have every right to do so. But we're good. We're good. Let's do this. This is as good of a lineup as we can put out right now. No shame in making the playoffs here in year 3 and missing in the first round. Despite having some good pieces, we are still, of course, relying on a lot of really young players. The question is, what are the Detroit Red Wings relying on? Let's find out. So, first impressions, it's an interesting lineup. Top line of Jonathan Huberdeau, William Karlsson, and Andre Burakovsky. All right, second line is Tyler Johnson, Mikael Granlund, and Arturi Lehkonen. Solid top six. Third line is Yannick Hansen, Philip Deneau, and Evgeny Svechnikov. Also not terrible. Yurko, Quinville, and Wilson make up the fourth line. It's a very well-rounded lineup, I'll give them that. On defense, it's Muzzin and Sergachev, Gardner, Dahan, Enstrom, and TVR. The goaltender, it's Carey Price. It is Carey Price, isn't it? It is, off a .928 save percentage this season. Ilya Samsonov is the backup. Derek Pouliot is the healthy scratch. Am I surprised that they won the President's Trophy? A little bit. There are some weaknesses to their team, but in comparison to our team, I'd be hesitant to call them weaknesses. They're a good team with simply put, an amazing top pairing and the best goaltender in the game, if not one of them. So yeah, it's no real surprise to see that they did as well as they have. However, it's a different story in the playoffs, or at least I hope it'll be. We have a chance to turn things around. Game 1 in Detroit. Let's get this show on the road. First period, and that is the start I was hoping for. Brock Boeser gets the opening goal. Tyler Johnson ties it. Boeser gets his second goal of the period, and then with 1 second left, the first line contributes their third goal of the period. Ryan Donato beats Carey Price from outside, and it's a 3-1 lead at the end of the opening 20. What a start for the Blue Jackets. Second period, and we just add to it. Logan Brown chips in with the goal. Ryan Donato gets his second of the game as well, so both Boeser and Donato with 2 goals in this game. Third period is scoreless. 5-1 final, 39 shots to 25. The boys came to play. It's a victory in Game 1 for the Blue Jackets. A 4-point night for Boeser, a 4-assist night for Eichel, and a 3-point night for Ryan Donato. Boy, am I feeling quite pleased with myself for making that our top line. Went with the gut instinct. It paid off in a pretty big way. We get our first playoff win in this series. It's a 5-1 win over the President's Trophy winning Detroit Red Wings. What a way to start things off. However, that is just one game, and we still have a long way to go. First period of Game 2, and we get off to a good start. Louis Belpedio with the opening goal, the only goal of the first period. He put that in the net 43 seconds in. That's not the description. I was going to say he scored that, and he was like, he put it in. Did he put that in the net? I don't know. Louis Belpedio scored, which is all that matters. We're up 1-0. Second period, we were up 2-0. Will Butcher with the goal. Thomas Yurko is able to get Detroit back into this game, though, with that goal. 2-1 at the end of 40 minutes, 19 shots to 16 as we begin the third period. Only up by 1. We've already achieved our goal of winning on the road. Sonny Milano with a gigantic goal. Granlund gets it right back, though. We're halfway through the third. We have won a game on the road. If we can take both on the road, that is going to be a statement. 3 minutes left, and Jack Eichel delivers. Maybe that's what he was waiting for. Anders Lee chips in with the empty netter with 3 seconds to go. 5-2 final. 10 goals. 10 goals in 2 games for these young Blue Jackets. And we have a 2-0 series lead on Detroit. What a way to step up, particularly that top line. Anders Lee, though, on the second line now with a 3-point night. Sonny Milano with a 2-point night. And Galchenyuk with a 3-assist night. So the new second line delivering. The first line were the Stars in Game 1. The second line led the way in Game 2. And again, we have a 2-0 series lead, outscoring Detroit on the road 10-3 over those first 2 games. And now as far as the rest of the scouting goes, I'm going to assign it to the queue because we have to pay attention to the scouting from here on out. Let's take a look at who is available in each of the 3 junior leagues. So we'll take a look first at the QMGHL. So, nope, not scouted. Shit, all leagues. All leagues. And we'll look at the OHL first. That works. Back over to all eligible. Do we have any Americans? We do. We have Nicholas Robertson, projected for the first round. Quentin Byfield's coming up in this draft as well, as is Daniil Gushchin. Who else do we have here? We have Gretz in the second to third round. Marcus Gretz. So scouting forward and defense in the OHL. May work out. I think I just called it the Q, in which case I'm sorry. Then you have someone like Kyle Harris, who's not projected to be that good. So the OHL forwards and defense are worth it, although we'll look at goaltenders. And nobody there. All right. In the Q, we have 2 goaltenders. In the first round, Benjamin Hutchings and Brent Timmons. Who do we have as far as players go? Anybody? Anybody at all? We have McCormick. All right, so goaltenders in the Q. And then in the W, do we have anybody? We have Marco Rossi And that's about it. You got Clifford Skilly in the second round. So, I mean, it's pretty much worth going, a week or two in all three of the regions, as you would have expected. But we'll see how it pans out for these players in particular. But for the most part, again, our focus will be on the U.S. region as opposed to the Canadian junior leagues. So let's set it up. We will go to the W first. 20%. Let's go a week at a time. Let's go 1 week at a time. It's the best way to handle it, and then we'll double up where we know that there were players to specifically look at. So, it's like we'll double it up with another week in the queue for goaltending. That's about it. So here we go. Back to business. Game 3 on home ice. We have a 2-0 series lead. Can we reverse the curse that teams have had? And by teams, I mean Detroit. Can we reverse that curse of not being able to win on home ice in this series? We're looking for a win in Game 3 is what I'm trying to say. First period is scoreless. A scoreless period in this series. Shocking. 9 shots to 7 in our favor. Second period, and Detroit, for the first time in this series, have a lead. It's William Karlsson with the goal. 21 shots to 16 for the Red Wings as we start the third period. Brock Boeser scores 36 seconds in. It's a tie game. And it's anybody's ball game from this point on. Halfway through the third, the next goal could very well win this game. It's a power play chance for the Wings that is not taken advantage of. 2.5 to go. A power play chance for the Blue Jackets, and we can't score. We're going to overtime in Game 3. Boeser's goal early on in the third period ties it. It's the only goal of the period, and that sets up this overtime. Do not blink. You might miss it. The Tougie Overtime Challenge. I'm going to say Logan Brown or Evgeny Svechnikov will score for them. Let's hope it's Logan Brown. Overtime. What's going to happen here? Can we take that 3-0 series lead? We are 1 goal away. Can we get it? Can that top line deliver? Can one of the offensive defensemen, we have 6 of them, can one of them step up? Even though Trouba's a 2-way. 5 minutes to go in the first overtime. Will we see double overtime? Yes, we will. You know how this works. Do not blink. You will miss it. This will end within 5 seconds. It's a guarantee. Double overtime begins in 3, 2, now. Who's it gonna be? 2, 3, and there it is! Anders Lee with the goal. The Columbus Blue Jackets somehow have a 3-0 series lead on the Detroit Red Wings. I told you it would end in 5 seconds. Anders Lee with the goal. What a signing. He is proven to be for us this season. And not to mention dropping him down to the second line. He has had such a great series for us. Connor Hellebuck, your first star, rightfully so. 38 save performance. Price did everything he could to keep his team in it. But there you have it, your beautiful third star. Look at those eyebrows and that smile and that goal. 1 goals. It's the only goals that matter, damn it. Anders Lee with the GWG in overtime. Was it on the power play? Is what I wanted to look at. And I think it was, unless that was a Tom Wilson penalty in the first, but I don't think it was. Pretty sure Tom Wilson took a slashing minor, and Anders Lee took advantage. So I'm sorry, Caps fans in real life, talking about Tom Wilson taking dumb penalties. I know that's a bit real for you. The good news is, hopefully, that this series can cheer you up a little bit, because again, we have a 3-0 series lead. No further hype needed. Let's go for the win against the President's Trophy winning team. My God. Our first time in the postseason. Can we complete the sweep? I'm not saying I want it, but it would be nice to have the sweep, that's all. All right, EA? So don't take my words out of context or nothing. First period. Decent. Grant Mishmash with the opening goal. Tom Wilson scores less than a minute later. From center ice, mind you. Getting a little bit of redemption for his mistake in overtime of Game 3. Double overtime, for that matter. Second period is scoreless. 20 shots to 18. And it comes down to this. Let's go. Third period, we have an early power play that we cannot take advantage of. All right. Decent first chance there. Next goal could win this, and it will either extend this series or end it. 8 minutes to go in the third. No doubt next goal is going to win it, and I hope to be right. Sonny Milano with the goal. Is that enough? My God, it's not. No. No. Oh, my God, I got cocky. I got confident, and that's what happens when you get cocky and confident. Never double C. Oh my God. Andre Burakovsky with 3 seconds to go. We were 3 seconds away from ending Detroit's season. And Andre Burakovsky steps up and forces overtime. I thought Milano's goal was going to be enough. We need one more. Overtime here in Game 4. The chance for the sweep is still alive. Can we get it? Besser, Eichel, overtime challenge. I'm going to say it's going to be Kiefer Bellows. I don't care who it is. It's Ryan Donato. How sweep it is. Oh, how sweep it is. The Columbus Blue Jackets in their first postseason appearance post-fantasy draft have swept the President's Trophy winning Detroit Red Wings following 2 blowouts and 2 back-to-back OT winners. Connor Hellebuck, you're going to be making the Hellebucks once that contract extension kicks in. Charlie McAvoy, you beautiful man, worth every penny, worth every draft pick. And Grant Mishmash, your 3rd star of the game. 1 goal, but he's a wrecking ball. He's a wrecking machine with 6 hits. Your Columbus Blue Jackets, your Team USA, are moving on after sweeping the Detroit Red Wings. Insanity. Jack Eichel, only 1 goal, but 7 points in 4 games. The line combination certainly worked. Ryan Donato, 5 points in 4 games with 3 goals, shooting 21%, which is unreal. Eichel again with the 7 points. Besser, 3 goals, 6 points in total. That new top line is killing it, but not to be outdone. That second line I was very impressed with. Sonny Milano with 3 points, 2 goals. 4 assists for Galchenyuk, and 5 points for Anders Lee in 4 games. Bravo, gentlemen. On the third line, Riley Tufte, 1 point. He was a +1. Not quite the same level of goal scoring that he had previously. Grant Mishmash with the goal, and no points from Gaudette. So I'm a little bit concerned. The top 6 absolutely delivered, and we know the goaltending was spectacular, but we are still not seeing much offense out of the bottom 6. Bellows with an assist, a goal for Brown, and a point for Jones. So we could look to change things up again within the bottom 6. Let me know your thoughts on what combination we should go with. The top 6, though, absolutely delivered, and they did enough to get us to where we are right now. Chad Chris, 2 assists, a +2. Not too bad. Charlie McAvoy, same thing. Quite happy with that. Second pairing, no points for Adam Fox, but he was a +3. The 1 point from Trouba, he was a +3. Will Butcher with 2 points. The 1 goal from Louis Belpedio. So the defense, not very high scoring. The bottom 6, not very high scoring. Without a doubt, the top 6 and the goaltending is what got us to this point, as Connor Hellebuck, with a .952 save percentage and a .134 goals against average in those first 4 games, absolutely stole that series. Like, those numbers put Jaguar to shame. They don't, but I'm just saying. What an effort from Connor Hellebuck and our top 6 to get us to this point where we are moving on to round number 2. Now, I haven't paid attention to Cleveland at all, and that is what I want to check. Let's see, are they out? I believe they're out. Cleveland? Cleveland didn't make the playoffs. Well, damn. I thought they did. I thought they did enough to come back. So the Cleveland Monsters, not in the playoffs. It shows you how much tunnel vision and focus I had on our main roster series. Couldn't help it. What a series it was. Again, we might want to look at changing up defense. I mean, defensive pairings plus-minus wise are all right, but the point production wasn't there. I am concerned, though, about the bottom six, even though, the plus-minuses weren't terrible. And again, it's not the best thing to go off of, but it's one of the few things we have to go off of in terms of stats to determine how well someone's done. I'm a little bit concerned about that point production, as we need to edit the scouting again. Let's go to the W defense for a week, as we still don't have confirmation on who we're playing in round 2. Who's it going to be? Who are we playing in round number 2? I wouldn't be surprised if it's Goodrow and the Bruins at this rate, and of course it is. I have to be honest with you, I didn't see, like the series matchups. I didn't see the standings. I just guessed. Flat out guessed. And of course it is. They went to 7 games in the first round. They will have home ice advantage in round 2. We will be playing the Boston Bruins, Johnny Goodrow, and the Boston Bruins in round 2, as they made it past Tampa in 7 games. So your Elite 8, Colorado and Minnesota, Vancouver and San Jose. In the East, Washington, Carolina, Boston, and Columbus. And we will continue our postseason journey in the next one. Can Connor Hellebuck, Anders Lee, Sonny Milano, Galchenyuk, McAvoy, Trouba, Donato, Eichel, and Besser continue this journey? You know what? At this point, we're playing with house money. This is more than what I expected. I'm happy with it. This is a good building block on which the rest of our series. This is the foundation season right here. The first 3. It's our first taste of the playoffs. We found success. It's onward and upward from here. I swear. Thank you guys for watching. Looking forward to your feedback and suggestions on what we should do lineup-wise as we prep for this matchup against the Bruins. We'll take a look at their lineup right now this time for the hell of it, just to see how we match up. You know the deal, though, on what you can do to support the video, to support the channel, to support me. I thank you guys for 8,000 subs. It's more than I ever thought I'd have, that's for sure. It's not much in the grand scheme of things, but damn it, it's more than I thought I'd ever have. And for that, I am thankful. I love each and every one of you. Nick Sealer, you got $1 million smile, buddy. In the next episode, we take on Martin Jones, Johnny Goodrow, Alex Pietrangelo, and the Boston Bruins. I'll see you guys in the next one.